spooky friends, and welcome to another episode of Storytime with the Scaryish podcast.
Woo!
I can see so much of your chest hair.
You're welcome. That's all for you.
I'm Robin Grace, this is Adam Diaz, and we're here to tell you guys some stories.
Yeah, we're going to read some stories that you wonderful folks have sent to us in a segment we call Homegrown Horror. Robin, what is a homegrown horror?
So homegrown horrors are the tales of paranormal, supernatural, spiritual, sometimes absolutely coincidentally horrifying stories that you folks take the time out of your day to type out, send to us, and we get to read it to the rest of our spooky friends. So,
Indeed. Yeah. If you have a story like that, you can reach out to us by emailing storytime@scaryish.com. You can also go to our website, scaryish.com, and click on Contact Us and send it to us that way. It's very helpful for those of you who don't have an email address or social media that you would like to reach out through. We do make that available to you, or you can reach out to us through any of our social medias, like Facebook, facebook.com/ScarishPodcast, Twitter, which is @ScarishPod, or Instagram, which is @ScarishPodcast. We say that every episode, but sincerely, folks, a lot of you are like, I'm going to send in my stories, I swear. There's no better time than the present to send them in. We're catching up on the backlog a little bit, which means send them now, and we would be happy to read them on the show. So tonight, I have a short one and a long one. Robin has a short one and a long one, so we got 4 total. But before we move into that, I believe, let me look at the date, for the last time, I'm going to let you folks know that it is January Patreon
Oh my
push.
gosh, it's the last. That's crazy.
It is. January flew by, and thanks to you folks, it's been a wonderful January. We sincerely appreciate all of you who have signed up. For those of you who have been on the fence, now is the time to go over to patreon.com/Scaryish podcast and sign up for as little as $1 a month. It sincerely helps us, and once we hit that 150 patron mark, we're going to go to the Stanley Hotel in what part of Colorado is it?
I think it's in Estes Park.
That sounds about right. So go ahead, sign up. You get early access to all of our episodes, ad-free access to all of our episodes at the $1 level. At the $3 level, you get to choose your own adventure where you can tell us what to cover, which is always really fun. At $10, you get merchandise that Robin curates, designs a new logo for typically, and sends out to you all on her own. I don't know, send over like inspirational words and energy because I'm not good at arts and crafts and stuff like that, but she is amazing, and she will send that stuff to you every season, and that's the $10 a month mark. And then we have the $25 a month, which is the shout out, where the first episode of every month we say, hey, thank you so much to this exact person for supporting our show. We sincerely appreciate it. And then the $50 is the tier where we start sending like an envelope/goodie package to you once a month as well, curated by mostly stuff that Robin finds. Every now and then I find a gem and toss that in there too. But yeah, those are the levels. We have levels above that if you're feeling antsy in your pantsy and you got some cash to blow. But we would really appreciate if you went over to patreon.com/Scaryish podcast and signed up. Just because it's January Patreon push does not mean you can't sign up. If it's a different month of the year and you're maybe listening to this later on, there is no problem with that whatsoever. But January is the month where we try and tell you every episode, please go, because it does sincerely help.
Yeah.
Cool. So am I going first, or are you going first?
How about I go first? I mean, the first one I'm going to read is incredibly short. All right, so the title of this next email here is Camera Glitch, ?
Interesting.
I was helping a friend set up his new security system at his house. 8 cameras were installed to keep an eye on his property due to the rise of crime in his area.
Okay.
After we installed the cameras outside the home, we went into the house to check how everything was working. We turned on the monitor for the cameras and began to check the view and just play around. What we saw on the monitor was extremely terrifying.
Uh-oh.
We were looking at ourselves. My friend's jaw dropped. My heart stopped as we also saw a guy dressed in black behind us. What the fuck?
That's terrifying.
We quickly turned, but no one was there. When we turned back to the monitor, everything was normal. As scared as we were, we immediately took all the cameras down, and my friend returned the system. Yeah, I would too.
Here's the thing. Do you think you had a haunted system, or do you think the system just showed you that you had a haunted house? Because returning the system means you can no longer see what's standing behind you, which is equally terrifying. So I guess there's really no good decision to make there except to move.
I feel like anything with cameras is just immediately going to be like, ghosts. You're going to see ghosts.
You're talking to one right now. Just saying. There's the feed. So if anyone sees any ghosts pop up behind us, let us know.
Now that's terrifying.
Hopefully they're on Robin's side. So
right.
Just saying, it's not always the camera where that stuff happens. So you can't just say it happens every time. when something there's no, oh my god, there's a ghost right there.
Up.
We have emotes that we pop up every now and then on the screen, folks, and one of them's called Why Though, and it shows our ghost logo like shrugging like, why though?
I didn't hear anything.
You can't hear it through the speaker because I have it turned down. But it's something we toss out there every now and then our Twitch users who have been here a long time, or not actually that long, I think it's 3 months, they get the why though thing to toss out there in the chat as well when it's like, when people make questionable decisions in these stories sometimes.
All right. Nice.
So I'm going to move on into my first email of the show. This was actually sent to us on Facebook from Isamar. I think I'm saying your name correctly. If not, I'm a horrible person, and I apologize. It starts out like this. Hi, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going? You can absolutely share this story. So my dad was telling me a story from when he was young. My dad grew up in Mexico in a small white ranch within the mountains. He was telling me that one night he was walking home after leaving a relative's house. He said that as he was walking, he heard a deep, loud grunt that stopped him right in his tracks. It was quiet again, then all of a sudden, he heard the grunt again. At this point, my dad was crapping his pants, not literally, LOL. He then proceeded to, it would be a weird story if it was like, this is the story of my dad crapping his pants. He then proceeded to tell me that despite being scared, he dug in his pocket to pull out a lighter and lit it up to investigate what that noise was. As he turned around with the lighter in his hand, to his surprise, he found a cow. The cow was trying to lay down right next to him.
That's so cute.
My dad wasn't expecting it. It caught him by surprise. I hope you all enjoyed this little spoopy story. Keep on creeping on. Izzy. Thank you so much for sending that in. That's hilarious.
I love think animals are hilarious.
I love the ones where it's actually not something creepy and it's like, oh, there was a cow next to me and I got super scared about it, but it turns out it was literally a cow just trying to cuddle a little bit that just wanted a little cuddle buddy.
Sometimes it kind of scares me, the idea that a giant creature
can sneak up on you.
Can sneak up on you and then wants to lay on you like this huge I don't know even how much cows weigh.
A lot.
But just this heavy thing is like, I'm just going to plop over and lay down on you. It's like, I'm going to die.
I think it's adorable. It's just like, I'm going to lay down next to you. Is that okay? And it's like, oh my God, it's a cow. I don't know.
It's like horses. Horses are giant things, giant creatures. And I love them and I love petting them. But at the same time, I'm like, you could murder me if you wanted to.
Yeah, they really could.
It's just terrifying. All right. So I'm going to go into my next story. And it's titled Weirdness for the Pod. Nice.
Interesting.
We're always down for weirdness, but not like creepy weirdness, unless it's like...
We're down for weird stories. Not like people hanging outside our window right now.
No.
Because we're on the second floor. That would be super creepy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're welcome. I gave you a scene from the Buffy movie you've never watched.
Yeah.
So I hope you
I've
enjoyed
heard
that.
you talk about it multiple times, so I'm like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone over there in YouTube chat, Spirit Dreamer, said the cow telling them to move. That's a solid fucking joke. That's staying in the podcast.
All right. So this next email goes, Hi, Robin and Adam.
Hello.
Hello. It's Haley from OKC.
What up, Haley from OKC?
What's that?
We have a Haley that's watching us in YouTube right now. I hope that's the same Haley.
Oh, maybe.
OKC is Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay. So, it's Haley from OKC, and you read some of my stories from my old job this past April. Holy crap. It's already January.
Yep.
That's insane. Which made my whole month when you did. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely read this on the pod, partially because it's still unfolding, and even if you're a little backlogged, any thoughts or comments from anyone would be appreciated. Honestly, while I'm writing this, I don't know if it's paranormal scary or real life scary, but I'm uncomfortable either way, so here we go.
Haley over there on YouTube says, shut up. This would be my first time in chat. This is me.
All right.
You picked the right time, Haley. It's almost like you're psychic. If this story's about you being psychic, that's going to be fucking awesome.
Oh my God, this song is about me.
This song's about me. I lit the wrong end of a cigarette. We're making fun of us, not you.
So, yeah, Adam says that constantly.
When people act stupid. When people are white girl wasted, I tend to yell that out very loudly at them.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, early November, oh my gosh, this is so long ago, it's crazy. I came home on Monday and my Wi-Fi wasn't working. That's a nightmare in and of itself.
That's terrifying.
That I can't even
Just stop.
imagine.
I can't hear anymore.
I know.
Don't go
no
on. We're
Wi-Fi?
moving on to the next story now.
I looked behind the TV where the router is and found that one of the cables was unplugged. I sent a snap to my brother, my cousin, and my two best friends about it being weird that it was unplugged. My boyfriend was already on his way over for dinner, and when he got there, I asked him about it. I'm trash at video games, but sometimes he brings over his console and we play until dawn, and I make all the choices, he pushes all the buttons. That's cute. It's kind of like when we play Silent Hill. It's like, go there.
Yeah,
go
a little
there,
bit. Or Telltale games. Like when we play Telltale games, a lot of times when it's like, pick, I yell out like, what should I do?
I think we played the Fairy Tale one.
Yeah, we also played Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, Wolf Among Us is the one that I remember telling you, like, you should do this.
It was Charlie, actually. It wasn't me. Charlie was the one that was playing it.
Cute. He said he didn't think he unplugged it when he set up the game, but neither of us could be entirely sure, so I brushed it off. I guess whatever cable it wasn't one that had anything to do with the Wi-Fi, and there was a Cox outage nearby, so problem solved.
For those of you who don't live in our area, and by the area I mean the West Coast, Cox is the cable and internet provider like Comcast. She's not saying that there wasn't a lot of cock around. She's saying specifically that she had an internet outage. Get your mind out of the gutter, folks.
What internet do you have in Midwest?
I was going to say Coxcast. Comcast is in the Midwest.
I know growing up, we had Roadrunner.
Roadrunner?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of Roadrunner.
It's like Time Warner Cable. I don't know. It was... It's Hawaii, okay?
Okay, yeah.
The next morning, Tuesday, he left earlier than I did to catch a meeting at work. Later, when I put my dog in her crate as I left for the day, I cracked the blind so my plant that's by the crate would have some light. I specifically remember doing that because I sang a dumb little song about sunshine for my plant and for my moon pie. My dog's name is Mooney. That's cute. That's cute. So stinking cute. I cracked the blinds so they were slanted down, enough to let the light in, but not so much that anyone would be able to see in the window because the window looks out on the front side yard.
Yeah, you don't want creeps looking at you. That's weird.
It's like 13 Reasons Why, when the two chicks are making out and the fucking window is
Everyone
completely
in that
open.
fucking show does everything in front of an open window with curtains pulled and blinds up. You people are idiots and you deserve everything that happens to you in that show.
What the fuck?
Cover your fucking windows. I've never ever met anyone who's like, I'm probably going to go ahead and jerk off now. Better make sure I open this window and pull open the fucking shades. It's just so dumb. Also, in the morning, she opens the window so we have a little light in the room and like tilts the shades a little bit so that like some light can come through. And then when I get home later on in the evening, like it's dark out and it's like all I can see are the lights going by outside. So it's actually really, really creepy because I feel like I'm the one staring at like the traffic as it goes by. So just wanted to point that out. Please close the blinds when you leave.
I'll never remember. Anyway, when I got home after work, I walked into the room to get Moon out of her crate, and my ears got hot, and I got really scared because the blinds were turned all the way up and were fully closed.
Interesting.
And that's not easy to do unless, so...
Depends on the blinds, I guess.
Depends on the blinds, but what I'm saying is the dog couldn't have grabbed the rope on accident and pulled it the wrong way.
I don't think it's the dog.
Right. It's just... That's weird.
Sometimes, like, if you have, like, blinds that are heavy, like, set so they're tilted at an angle, they just, like, kind of fall towards the side that they already were, but continue.
All right, so I took Moon outside and tried for a minute to talk myself out of being afraid, but nothing I came up with was a good enough reason for me to actually believe anything helpful. I took a picture of it and sent the snap to the same group of people. My brother was creeped out and was concerned and wanted to know if I needed help. One of my best friends is a cop who called me immediately. He started asking questions about if I was sure I'd set the blinds a certain way, which I was, if they could have just fallen. No, they went up from where they were. And then the scary question like, who has ever had a key?
Oh, God.
Or do you keep a spare key outside? And what
did you change the locks when you moved in?
And what really sealed my fear was, I'm really not trying to scare you, Hales, but do you have an attic? Fuck that question.
Wow. What's funny is I asked my mom before the show, I was like, so the email's good? And she's like, they're really good. One of them was really scary. I was like, really? She's like, yeah, Robin and I are scared of opposite ends of the house. So I was like, oh, one of them's about an attic. Interesting. Yeah. Now I know which one it is.
I hate basements. She's absolutely terrified of attics. It's just so funny. Oh my God, it's horrifying. So
Haley's in the chat right now and confirms I did change the locks when I moved in. First thing I did, tell Spooky Mom I'm sorry about the attic story. I'll let her know.
And the next question is it next to anything or above anything that someone could use to get up there? That's horrifying.
Yeah.
That's why I do not like our guest room, because the attic entrance is in the guest room. Like, nope, not sleeping in that shit.
When we fight, that's where I have to sleep, and she's okay with it because I might be the first one that dies. So she's okay with my screams being what alerts her to get out of the house. Pretty sure when she's scared, she picks fights just so I can sleep in there. It's pretty messed up, just saying.
When I told him that the attic was just a little pocket door in the ceiling with no ladder in the hallway, and that it was next to built-in cabinets in the wall, he was like, yeah, I'm on my way.
Wow.
That's terrifying. He lives about 40 minutes away and was going to get a ladder, so my dad came and sat with me while we waited. Mini shout out to my dad and my BFF because no one made me feel crazy when this was happening.
That is really nice that everyone believes you.
That is really nice. I feel like my mom would just be like, oh my God! It's not funny.
That's pretty fucking funny. Shout out to RadioMan33 who is now following us on Twitch and scared the living shit out of Robin. We're going to have to clean that chair after this.
I was like, what the fuck is that?
While we're giving shout outs, I want to give a shout out to Queen Glitch 13 who followed us 11 hours ago, Rex Basilisk who followed us a day ago, Buck Silk, Dollface.
What the fuck?
And that's everyone who followed us when we were off the air. Shout out to Valley Grills who just resubscribed for the 9th month using Twitch Prime, which you can get if you have an Amazon Prime subscription. Just go over to twitch.amazon.prime, I think. Something like that. If you Google it, you'll be able to find it. You can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and it gives you one free subscription every month. Make us be your free subscription, and you can use it once a month to have Robin shit her pants. It stinks in here like poop.
It scared me because it's like the spooky sound.
I'm so happy with everything I set up for this show right now. My dreams have come true because that scared the shit out of her. All right, getting back to it, we think there's someone in the attic right now.
No,
we have
okay,
friends
so my
over.
mom. So if it were my mom would be like, "You're just being paranoid."
That is true.
Nothing's going on. But my uncle's a cop anyway. She probably would have been like, just call your uncle and have him come over. Okay, so 40 minutes away. Okay, so my boyfriend was dealing with a family situation and was checking in every 10 minutes. So my friend gets to my place, gets up in the attic with his gun and flashlight and clears the space.
Holy shit.
He said there was no sign that there'd been anyone up there. We triple checked all my windows, the window screens, and the dirt and grass under the windows. He asked me if I was 100% sure that my childhood stalker that was mentioned in that last email wouldn't know where I live and that there's no way to know for sure, but I'm pretty close to sure. Luckily,
shout out to I'm What's for Dinner who has donated 100 bits and stated Robin's heart attack brought me joy.
Thank you so much. Fuck.
It's scary.
It was very scary.
You know, like what happened to you was scary. Like I wasn't scared of the noise. I was legitimately scared that you were going to fall or something like that. Because like you do the thing where you like reach around for purchase for anything to tell you that you're still on Earth.
Oh my God, it was really really scary. Okay, fuck. Okay. Luckily, there's no way into my crawl space, so I didn't even have to consider that version of a nightmare. Unluckily, there wasn't any evidence that a person did it at all, which either means that someone is sneakier than a therapist/cop combo could figure out, or it wasn't a person.
So we're going to go with the demon route, demon or ghosts.
Yeah. Or you have a really smart rodent that's doing strange
That could be
things.
too, but you would see signs of a rodent in the attic or outside of your window for sure.
Or I'm nuts, but everyone's been really supportive, and I'm a therapist, so like I would know, right?
You would think so. Shrinks need shrinks. I've heard that a lot.
Now all I'm thinking of is Hannibal, that TV show, where he
didn't watch it.
Mads Mikkelsen, that's how you say his name, right?
It is. Good job.
Is Hannibal, and he makes the main character think that he's crazy. So the main character, there's like this not activity, it's like a test, and you draw the clock, right? And depending on how you draw the clock is whether or not you're crazy. Apparently, not crazy, but like, I don't know.
As in the way the clock comes out, or the method you take while you're drawing it?
How it ends up looking.
Okay.
So the main character, thinks he's drawing this perfect clock, right? He thinks he's drawing a nice circle.
He thinks he's rocking out with his clock out.
But it's actually like all the numbers start going to the side, and like the clock doesn't come out as a circle. Later on in this series, spoilers, some chick looks at the journal that he's been writing these clocks in, and they get worse and worse and worse.
So he's going crazy.
He's going cray-cray. At least I think so, if I'm remembering it right. But
she could just be making it up. This sounds like a really good show.
It's a really good show. You guys should watch it. Hannibal on Amazon, I'm pretty sure.
Amazon.
That should be Lin-Manuel Miranda's next play.
Wow.
Anyway, all right. So, I was pretty well satisfied that I could compartmentalize the issue since I had two people I trust very much who checked everything for me, and on Wednesday I came home and everything was fine, which is saying something because I was nervous, and I was really looking forward to anything. She wasn't looking forward to it. She was looking for anything to be wrong. Then, on Thursday and Friday, I got home, and my dog had almost gotten out of her crate both days. She's a little bit of a Houdini dog, so I have little clips that keep the door shut, and for the first time in about 2 years, she'd gotten the door mostly open, so that only the clips were holding it shut. Since we've lived in this house, she's never done that. Initially on Thursday, I thought I hadn't given her enough of her separation anxiety medication, so I didn't think too hard about it. On Friday, she had bent the metal door so badly that it wouldn't work, and I had to go buy a new crate the next day.
Wow. That's
a lot of work to get.
That's intense.
Yeah. I stayed with my parents on Friday night and have since been setting up a security camera in my house in the event that I might catch something while I'm gone. It's funny that my first story was about the security cameras and seeing weird things.
It all comes down to, do you want to know what's in your house or don't you? I always think it's better to know.
So that's where my story ends right now.
Oh my God.
I keep putting off sage smudging the house, but I know I should, just to be safe. My paranoia is at an all-time high, but it's getting a little better with the holidays and a lot of distractions coming up. I know I'm not making it up, and I know I'm doing everything to keep myself safe. I've lived in the house for almost a year and a half, and nothing has ever happened. So I have a hard time believing that a ghost would all of a sudden be like, we're 17 months in, so now it's time to really fuck with her.
Maybe it's
I'm
not a
gonna
time
roll up
thing.
the blinds
Maybe
while she's gone.
Was there anything else when this activity started that may have triggered it? Maybe something else happened in your life that's not related to like how much time has passed, but like some event finally occurred. So I don't know. If you're still in the chat,
Or
you can let us
construction in
know.
the area, or like things around the house.
Maybe.
Mostly I'm mad that something scared my dog so badly.
Aw.
What's funny is some people I work with said, quote, maybe you should take a break from the scary stuff you're always listening to, end quote. To which my answer was, no.
Fuck y'all. All y'all.
This podcast fucks.
Hashtag this podcast fucks.
Because you guys make me feel like I'm not crazy.
Aw.
The whole point is a supportive place to talk about weird shit, and this is some really weird shit. I'll update anything that happens, but let's all keep our fingers crossed, send good juju, pray, or whatever everyone does that absolutely nothing else happens. Keep on creeping on, guys. Love you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sending it in.
Yeah.
Here. And it's pretty awesome that you happened to join us right when we were going through this. Hopefully things are still good. Obviously, you're still alive because you joined us. So that's a really good sign. And I don't know. It certainly sounds like something's going on. When stuff happens and there's absolutely no evidence of anyone there to tamper with it, it's really hard not to think something creepy like that is happening. So I would say that if you haven't smudged yet, you probably... I shouldn't say you probably should, but it's like, what's it going to hurt, you know? She says, update, I left the camera up for 2 weeks and didn't catch anything. Nothing weird has happened since. So maybe a camera is like smudging, and that's what got rid of it.
Maybe.
I don't know. It's very odd. So maybe your guardian angel was just accidentally bumping into a bunch of stuff, and you came and caught it, and it's just like, damn it, like I keep scaring her. I gotta stop it. Have you ever seen that thing where it's like what a ghost would look like if it was actually benign, but just clumsy? And it's like they're just trying to wander through the house, and they keep like falling over and knocking into stuff in like the bedroom and accidentally like opening doors and slamming
the person
shit.
is just terrified.
And then they show it again like after you can't see the ghost, and it's just like it looks super terrifying, but it's actually not. It's just the ghost being stupid. Haley said, "Oh, for sure there was smudging like right after I sent that."
Wow,
good. That's good to hear.
Nice.
So thank you for sending that in, Haley. We appreciate it. I hope nothing creepy happens, but I hope you have a story to send us in the future, giving us an additional update. But let's be honest, it would be pretty boring if nothing happens. So
wow, that's
you
fucked
can
up.
send it in though. I still want to hear from you. So before we move on, let's take a quick commercial break. And we're back. All right, I'm going to move into my second and the final email of the show. It's Scary-ish stories, can read on podcast, smiley face. It's a pretty good subject. We know exactly what we're getting into, and that this person is very happy. It starts out like this. Sup, Robin and Adam.
Sup.
Sup. I found your podcast on Spotify a few months ago. Shout out Spotify. and have loved it. Loved is in all caps. Thought you folks should know. I
Thank
really
you.
enjoy reading it that way. I'm listening to all the episodes and even got my husband hooked on it, LOL. Thank you to your husband for actually getting hooked on it. Anyway, I have a few weird things that have happened that I wanted to tell you guys about. If you feel like sharing on the podcast, you're welcome to. First, story. So my now husband, Jaron, Jaron, I hope I'm saying your name right. If not, I apologize, I'm an asshole. My now husband, Jaron, and I met while I was in college. It was a few months after his grandma had passed away. That's super sad. She was a huge part of his life and had helped to raise him. He was devastated to lose her, and we both were wishing that we had met sooner so I would have had the chance to meet her. All I've ever known of her were the pictures I've seen and the stories I've heard. She loved Jaron so much, and he was her undisputed favorite.
Aww.
She smoked cigarettes, and because of that, Jaron had a liking for that smell. It's just something you associate with something you love, you know?
Yeah.
Like every now and then a smell will pop up, and regardless good or bad, it just reminds you of something. And if it's a good memory, then you associate that with being good. After we had dated for a few months, I was putting laundry away in my dorm, and for some reason, I smelled cigarette smoke. Without thinking, I just said, I promise I'll love him and take care of him. You don't have to worry. The smell of smoke disappeared, and I froze, wondering what the hell just happened.
That's really cool.
Yeah. I still can't explain it. I don't smoke. None of my roommates smoked, in parentheses, and they weren't home anyway. And all of the windows and doors were shut. My grandpa, who I was close with, was a heavy smoker as well and had passed away 5 years prior. So why didn't I associate that smell with my grandfather?
Oh my god.
As I was telling my parents...
you just innately get
the
feeling.
Knew. Yeah. As I was telling my parents about this, my mom and I both smelled cigarette smoke again, but only for a moment. We both commented on it and got a little freaked out. Again, no one in my family smokes.
I would get freaked out too.
And all of the windows and doors were shut. I don't know what happened for sure. It's pretty weird, but it means a lot to Jaron that she might have visited me to make sure he'd be okay. Maybe she's the one that brought us together in the first place.
That's real. I have chills. That's super duper duper romantic.
That is romantic.
That's my type of romantic story right there.
Second story. Sorry, it's not written that way. It's just how I'm saying it. When we first moved in together, it was a fourplex. We lived in the one bedroom on the top floor.
So it's like a building that's divided into four
units.
apartments. Okay.
Sounds like it. We had been dating for about 6 months, in parentheses, not long, but we both needed a place to live, and it was cheaper and more fun to live together. More fun. Yeah, we hear what you're saying. Anyway,
what the fuck?
We were still a pretty new couple, and it was the first time we had ever lived full-time with someone else without separate spaces, which takes some adjusting for everyone. We're also both pretty young, so we weren't the most mature about things. We argued a lot.
I've been there. I think anyone who's been like 18, 20, moved in with someone, didn't really know them that long, you've been there. I met you when I was like 24, bro.
I'm waving because Angela T says, hi guys, I'm on break at work again, but I'll watch later.
Oh,
so I wave with both hands. Hey Angela T, thank you for joining us. All right, so we're going to keep going with this. I totally understand what's going on. They argued a lot, sometimes about really trivial things. Normal to some degree, but just too much, honestly. We went to couples counseling for a little while, and that helped, but not as much as we had hoped. After about 6 months in our one bedroom, someone moved out from the adjacent 2-bedroom, which was only $50 more per month. So we moved into that. Hell yeah, that's worth it. That's awesome.
Worth it.
When the owner/landlord came to essentially check us out of our apartment and into the new one, she told us that before we moved in, she had to gut the whole first floor because the tenants that were living there worked together to cook meth.
Oh my god. So you're living on top of a meth lab?
That's kind of terrifying because if it went up...
It could have just blown the whole thing up.
Yeah. She had to rip out everything and put all new flooring, drywall, appliances, etc. We were a little shocked, but since it had been cleaned up, we weren't overly concerned. After almost 2 years in that building, still with pretty bad and continued arguments, we moved out to our current apartment. The night we were packing the cars to leave, we got into a pretty big fight. We hardly spoke and just got all of our stuff loaded into our cars and drove away. As soon as we cleared the street, neither of us were angry. It was so weird.
It's like that place, that ground, that property just has super bad juju.
We called each other and came to the realization that something must have been in that building keeping us at each other's throats. We still argue like everyone, but nothing like what would happen there. We both believe that cooking drugs / getting into bad shit invites evil, maybe opens a portal.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're relieved to be out of there now and have been happily married for almost 3 years.
It's all the meth fumes.
Yeah, those meth fumes are just triggering you guys super fucking hard. I have a couple more stories about dreams I'll send you guys later if you want to hear them. Shout out to Spooky Mom. You the best. By the way, Adam, just so you know, oh God, when sentences start like this, it's either something really nice or really mean. By the way, Adam, just so you know, I grew up in Montana where there's no such thing as Zaboomafoo or whatever the fuck it's called. My favorite sentence so far of this email.
Oh God.
When we moved to Washington State, literally everyone had grown up with it and would talk about or quote it while I sat there like a loser for not knowing what the fuck they were talking about. I'm with you. It's a fucking lie.
It's because we're West Coast. It's gotta be West Coast.
I'm Midwest,
thing.
and Zaboomafoo is a lie. Keep on creeping on, Amanda and Jaren. I thoroughly enjoyed that email. And they signed off, Amanda and Jaren, super cool, loyal podcast listeners who are awesome. Pictures of our Omen babies attached.
Nice.
Thank you for sending in the awesome story and the awesome postscript and now the awesome pictures of your Omen babies. We do sincerely appreciate it. I looked down and saw Spirit Dreamer over in YouTube say no to drug kids. Say no to drugs, kids. That's so good.
Someone commented about Dare today.
Yeah, they did.
Because our episode just came out and
we talk about
Dare. And someone was saying that Dare is probably one of the most failed programs because everyone that goes through it ends up doing drugs or drinks or stuff like that.
I totally understand the idea behind Dare. You want to let kids know like the dangers of drug and alcohol. But something about how they presented it, at least in my school, I can't speak for anyone else's experience, I was just like, this is so over the top and it's so judgmental and shitty about people, you know? It's like, and my dad smoked, and they're basically acting like anyone who smoked was a degenerate. And I'm like, my dad works 16-hour days, drives an hour to an oil refinery, works for 16 hours and comes home, and sometimes works like 30 to 40 days in a row. And they're acting like my dad's a piece of shit because he smokes cigarettes to calm down. He wouldn't even smoke like a couple packs a day. He'd smoke like a pack in a week. And I was just like, this seems like really off. And I just remember, like, as I was signing their Dare contract, being like, I am doing whatever the fuck I want because you guys are assholes.
Wow.
So, right on.
I am going to admit that I was goody two-shoes for most of my life. So,
goody two.
I have done things that I'm not proud of. But for the most part, it's pretty goody two-shoes.
It's good. I've done a lot of things I'm not proud of. But if people ask me, like, would you go back and change anything in your life? The answer is always no.
Yes.
Everything I did brought me right here, and I'm pretty happy where I am right now. And the stuff I did that was stupid is pretty fucking funny, so no.
The stuff that I did that was stupid was not funny, and 10 out of 10 would not do it again.
What if it meant changing that meant you would not come back to this exact moment? You would deviate somewhere else.
Okay, how far would it deviate, though?
I don't know.
I still meet you, but I'm fucking baller as fuck?
Well, obviously, if you could change that, you would want to. What if I don't want to put this out there. What if it meant we couldn't do the show? I won't say what if it meant.
Oh, that'd be really sad.
What if it meant you couldn't meet me? Obviously, you'd say no, you wouldn't change anything in the past. I just don't want to ask her because I don't want her real answer.
Fuck you.
Me and someone at work today I was talking about the topic episode that I just covered because I talked about Christopher Reeve and his wife, and that's super sad. And I was like, dude, like, it took me like 20 minutes to read that part because I could not stop like choking up.
I know I was making fun of him last night.
She always makes fun of me when I did not cry at all. I got a little bit like wobbly voice, and that was it.
Anytime I see his lip quivering, I'm like, oh.
But I brought it up to my friend at work, and I was just talking about like this woman stood by Christopher Reeve through like the hardest thing you could ever imagine, and she wound up dying of lung cancer with never smoking cigarettes.
Just 2 years later.
So we brought up like, would you stay with your significant other if they were quadriplegic from the neck down? And I was just like, yeah, I would. And he's like, yeah, I would too. I was like, I don't know if Robin would stay with me. If I get like a cold that's too intense, she's ready to snuff me out with that pillow and just like let the air leave my lungs for the last time. So I don't know if Robin would have the patience to put up with my bullshit.
I'd roll you around like a potato.
It's adorable. It's really romantic, actually.
You're so cute.
All right.
Okay. I definitely want to thank everyone that's been supporting us, and you guys are so awesome. I know my family's been really, really, really supportive, and I'm so thankful. You guys have no idea. I cannot believe how awesome you guys are. Thank you so much. I know my cousin David watches our streams every week, and it's so freaking cool, and I'm so thankful.
It started with Liz.
It started with my sister.
Let's be real.
And a lot of my family's been buying merch, and you guys are so fucking sweet, and I'm so thankful. We have so many new patrons. Thank you, January Patreon push. You guys are so awesome, so supportive, and we really couldn't be here without any of you. So
this is very true. As long as we're giving shout outs, I want to give Mike and Amanda a shout out for supporting us for a very long time. They've supported us through not just all of Scaryish, but through all of Nerd Chills.
Yeah. Meadow says Nerd Chills reborn.
I saw Nerd Chills come across in the chat, and that is saying something. As long as we're giving shout outs for people that are supportive, I'm going to give a shout out to Garrett, my friend Garrett back in Chicago.
Yeah.
He works on Hello from the Magic Tavern. He's super talented, and he works his ass off.
Your friend Joe,
and
super supportive.
Super supportive. And, I mean, Garrett takes the time out of his day to listen to the podcast. Like, sometimes, this is the thing, the podcast releases at 4 a.m., either Tuesday or Friday, and sometimes I wake up at 6:30 or 7, so the podcast has only been live for 2.5, 3 hours, and Garrett has already texted me something about the podcast because he's already listened. And that means a whole lot. It really does, and I don't think we can overstate enough how much the support from our friends and family means, and I think that's why folks that listen that we've never met, we start to learn the names of, because there's so much support being given to us that it's like it's impossible not to just start to love those people. So thank you so much to all of you who do support us. We don't need you to give us money for us to remember your name. We just need you to participate, and if you are one of those folks who is just like shy or nervous or just wants to listen, that is 100%
That's totally fine.
Okay
Be
too.
that ghost listener.
We love you. We just don't know your name.
Yeah,
and
we
there's
just don't know your
nothing
name.
wrong with that.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people we see each week, and we just get to know you a lot better, and you guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone who sent in a story tonight. We sincerely appreciate it. If you have a story you would like to send in, do so. Meow. Email storytime@scaryish.com.
Actually, meow.
Email
Meow.
storytime@scaryish.com, or go to scaryish.com and click on contact us, or hit us up on any of our social medias. Send in those stories. Send in those stories. Send in your stories. If you have a friend who's been saying, like, you should send a story in, bro, hit them up. Let them know it's time. You're going to come over, or you're going to whip out your phone, and you're going to type up their story and send it to us together, and then they can listen to the episode when we read it and maybe become a fan of Scaryish as well. I'm going to read one last thing before we move out of this show, because it was texted to me today, and I thought, wow, this is really nice. I want to put this out there. So this is coming from someone at work. They said, I just want to tell you I'm okay. They had a surgery, or they had a procedure done to them today that's kind of scary. Done with my test. I'm thirsty, starving, and tired. Not a lot of pain, mild discomfort. But I wanted to tell you, and please share with Robin if you want, I was all alone at my testing, and I started to cry because I was scared and wanted some comfort. I was surrounded by 3 doctors and techs just doing their job, but couldn't help me feel comfortable because they were strangers. Everyone I knew was working and couldn't be there for the 2-hour test. I listened to the podcast because it was something that made me feel comfortable.
Aww.
Knowing you and Robin have shitty days also, but make it a point to help/be there for others. So thank you for helping me this morning, even when you didn't know you both were.
Thank you so much.
That means
and we are so glad.
much that we can somehow help folks,
Yeah.
just by being us, because we're silly. We're
just
silly,
weird.
stupid people.
We're
And
just
we're happy that somehow that makes you guys feel better, and we can be there for you because we feel the support from you, and we hope you feel it from us.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah, we just hope that we can be there for anybody who needs to hear something good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Fun
Oh,
stuff.
I love the use of our emotes in the chat. Okay, so go to our website, Scaryish.com. There's links for everything that you could possibly reach out for when it comes to Scaryish. The Etsy shop is on there, Teespring, everything is on there if you guys want to pick up some Scaryish merch. And if you guys want to donate to us monetarily, we have Patreon, patreon.com/Scaryish podcast. Those are monthly donations. Monthly donations, whole bunch of different tiers. Tiers start at $1. You get like early access or ad-free episodes, things like that. Sometimes when we do get the opportunity, we add a couple bonus things on there. Discount codes get put up on there for merch, things like that. And then we do have one-time donations at coffee, ko-fi.com/Scaryish podcast. Those are one-time donations that help go to us upgrading our studio setup. So yeah. please help us out.
Yeah. Everything helps, and we sincerely appreciate it. And I think that's just about everything that we have for episode 103 of Storytime. So, Robin, go ahead and sign us out.
Keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.